Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Angel Galindez, and welcome to my Cultural Diversity Project. This is the final project for the class, and as I am a veterinary technology major, my final project is going to be pertaining to cultural diversity within the veterinary community. Okay. So, in what specific ways will diversity have an impact on my profession? So, the veterinary field has become more diverse happily in recent years. Professionals are coming from a variety of backgrounds, as well as the clients that we're going to be serving. It's important to always approach every situation from a place of understanding and tolerance. Anytime animals are involved, feelings are going to be polarizing. And people have very strong opinions about the treatment of animals and animal rights. As a veterinary professional, it's going to be important to keep the welfare of the animal at the forefront of the discussion, but still maintain respect for the feelings of others. I think educating clients will be key. I included this quote by Mahatma Gandhi: "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." Now, Gandhi came from India, and it just, it just shows that people have different opinions when it comes to animals and animal rights, as I mentioned. So, when working in the veterinary profession, some of the ways that we're going to be experiencing diversity will be having to deal with people from different backgrounds and people who have different opinions about, what rights an animal has, what they're willing to, how far they're willing to go for their animals. So, you hear people say sometimes that, their animal is their baby, their animal is like their kid. And then you have other people that still very much feel that, an animal is really separate from a human. So I think that's some of the diversity that we're going to be experiencing within the veterinary field, and it's important to keep that in mind and to remain respectful. Okay. What are the ethical issues and power imbalances related to diversity in my field, and how will I deal with these? So at the end of the day, in the United States at least, healthcare is a money-making endeavor, and money is going to often dictate power within the veterinary field. Because of this, it will be easy for the welfare of the patient to get lost in the mix. Because of that, it's going to be important to, it's going to be important to, like I said, keep care at the forefront and not be swayed by money. Because some people will use that money, as well as in the veterinary profession or healthcare in general. They might use their rank or seniority to dictate some stuff. But, for me personally, there are some common ethical issues that can arise, which include questionable breeding practices and unnecessary aesthetic procedures such as tail docking and declawing and things like that. I have strong opinions about those myself. So, it's important for me to do research and to validate my opinions so that when I do discuss this with other people, I can come from a place of, having educated myself. And as I said before, tolerance is going to be key when speaking and talking to clients and as well as coworkers. Let's see. Okay, in what ways should I educate myself about the client-patient population I will be interacting with? So, it's important to have a general idea of the demographic with which you will be working and serving as a veterinary professional. Opinions about animal care may vary depending on the region And so knowing a bit about the general consensus of the average client will help a great deal. Communication is key. Listening and being receptive while not shying away from engaging in open discussion is the best way to get a better understanding of the clientele. And so, when I say that, as I said, for instance, in the beginning, Gandhi came from India, and he had a real reverence for animals and the rights of animals. But not everybody feels that same way. Like I said, some people really feel like animals are their babies, their pets are their baby, and some people really feel like, animals, certain ones, they're used for food or they're used for working and stuff. But as veterinary professionals, it's important to keep the care and well-being of the animal at the forefront and to, come from a place of understanding so you can have an open discussion when discussing the care of these animals and getting the point across. Okay. Are there cultural differences between myself and the population I will likely be working with? I believe it's really going to depend on the location. However, there's always going to be diversity among the clients. While backgrounds or upbringing play a role in a person's feelings towards animals and the care of them, it is important to remember that every client is unique and their opinion is valid. As veterinary professionals, we're here to service them and to provide the best care possible to the patient. And of course, when I'm saying client, I mean the person, and when I say patient, I mean the animal. So again, just because I'm going to use Gandhi again as a reference, just because Gandhi, being Indian, was, felt a certain way about animals, that doesn't mean that, you can just kind of stereotype East Indians and say that, okay, well, they all, have this connection with animals or same feeling about animals, because it's going to be different. And you have to engage in the patient with the client, to get a better idea of exactly what their feelings are and how they're viewing, the care of their animals. Let's see. What are my unconscious biases about that population? How might my biases play a role in communicating with the populations I will likely be working with? So I would like to think that I don't have any unconscious biases. However, because they are unconscious, sometimes it's hard to tell. And I would be very naive to think that I don't have some form of bias. But that has to be kept in check while working. The care of the patient has to come first, which is perhaps a bias in and of itself. Like I mentioned, many individuals, especially those working with animals for the sole purpose of making money, are going to feel differently, but even those people deserve consideration and the right to be heard. Again, they're the clients, they are going to be the ones fitting the bill for the patient. So it's important to make sure that they're heard, make sure that you have a discussion with them, and keep the care of the animal at the forefront, I think. How can I be more aware of social cues and expectations of my clients or patients? So communication, like I said before, is always key. Asking questions, taking the time to explain things, getting input from clients, and remaining receptive and respectful to the opinions of all is much of the battle. Being humble and remaining teachable is another aspect that I feel must be met when it comes to client interaction. As a veterinary practitioner, we rely on the person for most of the information about the animal. So, like anything we can't observe or that we're not observing, during a visit in the clinic, we have to rely on the person, the people, the owners who are going to be telling us, what they are seeing in the animal, anything different or anything we need to be made aware of. So we have to keep that in mind. Let's see, it is always crucial to come from a place of tolerance and understanding, regardless of the situation. All right, so that brings us to the end of the discussion. I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking the time to, check out my project. And because this is a cultural, social culturals class, I wanted to say thank you, gracias, and Gurab Magut. And, I hope that you all do great in your future endeavors. Thank you. And references.